instructor, sound engineer, art director, and brand ambassador for a black-owned beer company in Chicago.
What was the first thing you started? Like, you started music first, or did you help out youth?
Yeah, I was doing music initially. I've been doing music my whole life, but my youth work actually started because by trade I was a social worker for like 20 years. So I worked for a lot of non-for-profits. I worked for a lot of community-based organizations. I pretty much started out doing adult literacy, and then I moved to teen parenting, and then I became a mentor for some while. And then I just started my own youth-based organization that teaches beat making to kids, and it became very successful. So I just incorporated what I was doing with the music into my social work passion and brought them together and created a brand and an educational institution that's all mobile, which means we bring the equipment to the center to tutor the youth on the importance of hip-hop and its elements, and audio production and making beats. They're doing songs. They're learning how to compose music. So it's very interesting.
How was your support system? Instead of doing like the 9 to 5, transitioning into more of a creativity, how was your support system?
I think my support system is fine. What I've learned as a business owner is to not wait on things that you need. So for example, if you have some friends or associates that do a specific thing, if you need it, pay for it somewhere else and go around them, and sometimes friends and business don't mix, but you got to be assertive about getting to your goals. That's what I believe in.
What's the biggest lesson you learned about yourself?
You mean as an artist, as a business owner, as a person?
Yeah, as a person, that's a good one.
The biggest lesson that I've learned is that I actually tend to put sometimes more stock into a situation or a person than what it actually what the real value of it is. So like, I can believe in you more than you believe in yourself, and I can see your potential and you might not see it, and I can be holding on for a long time, but then you might not have what it takes to kind of turn that switch and kind of pivot to become successful. So I think one of the biggest lessons I learned is to not see people as the big homie, because sometimes they the little homie.
What's the biggest hurdle you got over?
I would say the biggest hurdle that I got over was me dealing with, I think for a long time I felt like I needed a secretary to do my administrative work. Although I had a background in social work, I just felt, I guess it was a certain level of privilege. I felt like I was too good to be the one to have to do the faxing and the emailing and the signing. But when you're a small business, you need to understand that you got to be the janitor, you got to be the administrator, you got to be the CEO, the owner, and the instructor. And so when I overcame, this phobia of me not needing anyone to do my administrative work, and I just embraced it, because it used to make my stomach nervous. Like, what if I return an email or spell something wrong, or all of these little phobias about, whether I needed to be the one or I needed to allocate that to someone else. I just learned how to embrace that, and that's what helped propel me. And so, for all of those people that are out there starting, like, understand that you need to learn and do it on your own, what you can, and then what you can't, pay an expert to do it for you. Just make sure you're moving forward, reaching them goals.
What has consistency taught you?
Consistency, that's like one of my favorite words.
Get out.
Consistency is key, is one of my phrases. That's actually the key to success. I think we, as a people, we kind of lack drive at times, and that's based around consistency. So consistency is the key to success. Doing something all the time. These bloggers or Instagram influencers, they're constantly putting up content. They're constantly doing something. They're not sitting dormant. So it's this whole concept of, being unwilling to submit, when it comes to certain stuff. We real quick to give up on people when it comes down to stuff that can help us. We don't even want to be consistent with that. So it's kind of like versing some of those, thought processes that are, not necessarily the way.
What are the sacrifices you had to make in your being an artist?
That's a good question. Being an artist, unfortunately, you're going to lose a lot of friends. You're going to lose some of the quality of the fabric of the relationships, over time. And a lot of the times I say to myself, well, Rob, this is what you asked for, so I can't necessarily be mad at what actually comes with the territory. And so that's kind of what my focus is on that. But yeah, you're going to lose a lot of friends. Family members that you thought had love for you, it might not be as genuine as you thought, but that's part of it, Those are the sacrifices that come with it, when you on the elevator, as you get to the top, everybody ain't getting off at the top. A lot of people getting off at the lower floors, and that's how it is in life. And I'm not about to be, I'm not gonna feel guilty for being successful. I'm just not gonna do it.
What part you had to learn to love? What part you had to learn to love? When we go and do something that we have a vision for and we learn about the little parts we hate, but we had to learn to love it at the same time.
I would say the paperwork. That was a struggle. That was a struggle for me, and I know it's a struggle for a lot of business owners. But as you're doing it, you're growing and you're learning, and so I think one of the keys is you kind of got to stop taking advice from people who really don't know what they're talking about, and get the advice from people who do, so you can actually learn and do it on your own, or at least know the process. And that's been my whole thing, especially with the music business. It's like there's so much paperwork involved, and that one element is one of the reasons why a lot of people don't get paid. It's that laziness, being unwilling to learn it or read it or try to figure it out. It's always this magical person that you need, and they'll handle it for you. And guess what? That person wants some bread too. They gonna take most of yours just figuring it out for you. So that's why you need to know it on your own.
What does success mean to you personally?
To me personally, success is freedom to me. And I feel like I'm not there until I got a jet. And when I got a jet, then I feel like I'm free to ride out when I want to, at my own dime. But until then, I still feel like, I still have to pay for a ticket if I want to leave. But, if I own a jet, I'm just leaving. So that's like one of my personal goals with myself. But I equate freedom with success, The harder you work, more successful you are. The freer I feel, poverty is one of the things that make you feel in prison, having a lack of money or having that lack of knowledge. But I believe that knowledge is actually even more valuable than money, because if you got the information, then you can get all the money.
What inspires you to keep going?
I would say my kids, my family. That's like the heartbeat of my drive. The people who didn't make it, past loved ones, incarcerated loved ones, the people who haven't been given a chance or a voice is what pushed me, to keep, that's the core of my drive, because so many people didn't have an opportunity to, I got family members who's sick or passed on, who probably only dreamed of doing something that I'm doing. And so, for the sake of that, I don't have the luxury to chill or fall back. Just don't.
Do you have any expectations you had to let go of?
One of the biggest expectations I had to let go of was this need for everybody to like me, or majority of the people to like me. And this is very important because success is about crossing that line of not caring about a lot of shit that people feel about you. And you gotta cross that line and stay on that side of it, regardless of how they feel. So through that, not only are you gonna lose some friends, but everybody not gonna be in alignment with what your values and your thought process is. So for me, it was hard. As you elevate, you want people to love you, but that don't always be the case. And they might love you, but then they might just tolerate you. Like, I really can't stand you, but I deal with them. So it was that for me. But I'm way past that now. I don't even care. They feel I want to do right by people, but the stuff that rubbed them the wrong way usually is somebody else's success.
Believe in a creator?
Yeah, I do.
Do you have a relationship?
Yeah.
So how has that helped you?
Well, I've connected, over the years, in a more secure relationship with the Most High, and I'm an extremely spiritual individual. So, yeah, I got a great relationship with God, and it's a personal relationship. Finding my own way, and I'm just trying to treat people right and put back into the universe some of that same energy that I'm getting back. But the key is actually helping people, and it's not always about money. To help others, like this offering, this concept of offering. And I don't mean going to church giving money every Sunday. I mean helping people who need help, right? God gonna bless you for that. And so I'm in that practice. That's what I do. So when I'm not working, I'm doing a whole bunch of what they would consider missionary work. So it's all good. That's how I get my blessing.
What is your advice?
I would say my advice is do your due diligence and don't quit, because we quit so much stuff. We quit stuff and then go to the next thing and it doesn't work out, and go to the next thing. We gotta stop quitting stuff. Success is based off of delivering a product to someone, and it doesn't have to be the best, just finish. Because the accomplishment that the feeling that you're gonna get from finishing is gonna actually help you move up more steps. So, this whole idea of completing what you started, there's too many people going to get second plates, they ain't even finished their first one. Real talk. And that's just how I see it. Like, take care of what's been given to you. Put your shoes in a box before you go buy new shoes. Like that same concept. Because you need to make room for what's coming your way. So I just try to be a little bit more practical. I got a different kind of thought process when it comes to being an artist and an entrepreneur and all that. So
You're an artist, so what's important what message is important to you?
I would say in my music, the message that I try to convey the most is coming with a realistic depiction of how life is. And I don't mean the streets, because that's been told in rap, but regular everyday stuff. People trying to find money to pay bills, and dealing with kids, and child care, and the pandemic, like real life issues. We know about the crime. We know it's based off of poverty and disenfranchisement and all of that. We know that. But who is gonna speak for the person that's going through everyday regular stuff? So I just try to be relatable.
Are you born and raised from Chicago?
Yeah, I'm from the South Side. I was born and raised in Inglewood. I stayed there some substantial years out of my life. But I was fortunate enough to move out of that neighborhood as I got older. And I'm still a contributing member to the community, helping in various ways with my program. And of course, in music and everything.
That's really cool. Well, thank you for doing this.
You're welcome.